What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Montana Method Podcast one more time. As always, your host, Nelson Rodriguez Jr., author and creator of Montana Method, coming at you with a special episode this week. Gonna introduce you guys to the guy who is responsible for all the behind-the-scenes stuff here at Montana Method, and me and him are gonna have some banter, talk back and forth about what's going on in the world, and, you know, some deeper topics, as I usually like to get into. So stay tuned. Don't move with muscle. Elijah, kick it.
I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really out here in these streets. That's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no. But now I want it all. I promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags.
So for those of you that tune in every week, you hear when I say play my, Elijah, kick it. Well, this is Elijah. Welcome, Elijah.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Nice to meet y'all.
Yeah, he's the wizard behind the camera here at Montana Method, and he's essential in everything we do. He's a bit of a content creator himself. He's more of a Twitch guy, which I should get into, and he's told me about, but I don't really understand the Twitch world. But eventually, I'm sure I'll get involved somehow. You went to TwitchCon in San Diego, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2022 or 2023 when TwitchCon first came back after the pandemic.
What was that like?
It's pretty cool. I met a lot of different streamers, smaller ones, bigger ones. So it was pretty cool because there you're not even to like promote yourself. You are, but it's more to like make connections because people come from around the world. So it's like it was a super dope event for sure.
Okay. So something interesting I've heard about Twitch, which makes them very different from YouTube. YouTube is kind of hard, at least for the smaller streamers at first, to start making money. I've heard that Twitch actually is a little better with the monetization, and they actually give more benefits to streamers if they stream more, and they build that relationship like the more you stream. Is that true?
For sure. I mean, for you to get monetized on YouTube, you need like 1,000 subs, many watch hours. But to get an affiliate on Twitch, you just need to have 100 followers.
It's not much.
3 average viewers, and you need to stream for 7 or 12 days out of the month. So that's like, if we're talking 7, so 8, so 2 episodes a week. That's not terrible. Yeah. That's not bad. How long do you have to the length of the stream? How long does it have to? I think for it to count as a stream,
it's 1 hour.
It's 1 hour.
Okay.
And that's just to be an affiliate, not a partner.
Okay.
Affiliate, everything you make on Twitch is 50-50. When you're a partner, you need 75 average viewers.
Okay.
And if you get a partner, the revenue is 75-25.
In your favor?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Man, and to think about how many... So I was just talking to your brother about this, our producer here at the studio, Eli. I was literally just on the phone with him, and he's like, bro, do you know how many people in the world there are that do... They literally just turning on the camera while they're eating lunch or playing a video game or going about their day, and they post that to YouTube, and they'll make it like a members-only content or something, and people pay for that. So Twitch, essentially, the gamers, they're huge on Twitch, right? Isn't that like a big thing?
I mean, gamers for sure, but right now Twitch is transitioning to not just gamers. Like, there's podcasts on Twitch, Like, there's podcasts IRL streaming. People just walk around, New York or Miami, just like
vlogging,
live streaming. Yeah, and it's a live vlog, and people love it. People just want to see what the streamers are doing.
Dope. Man, there's so much that just makes it abundantly clear to me how much opportunity there is in content creation. People think, oh, this is saturated. There's too many people. Bro, we haven't even scratched the surface on content creation. Well, everybody was saying that back when TikTok didn't even exist. Oh, yeah, everybody's making content. It's saturated. YouTubers, there's too many people. And look, then they came out with TikTok, and TikTok changed the game for everybody. It came out with TikTok-style videos. It made Instagram convert to Reels. It made YouTube start making shorts. Facebook Reels. There's always a new way to do things, there's always innovation. There's always space for innovation, no matter what industry you're in, right? So for content creation, especially how content creation can tie into anything, you could be a real estate developer, you could be a gamer, you could be a professional athlete. It doesn't matter what you do. It ties in. You can create content about that, and people are gonna want to watch it. So to this day, when I run into people who, oh no, I don't know if that's what I should be doing, you should definitely be doing it, 100%. There's not one industry, one profession, one person on this planet who will not benefit from making content, 100%. I get it if you're shy, I get all that stuff, but guys, there's 2 of us in the room right now. Why should I be shy? It's me and Elijah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm shy. The camera's, you're scared of an inanimate object? Like, I've never understood. We have a friend who shall not be named who works with us. And we recorded her the other day to make some content for the company. It was bad.
Yeah.
Elijah.
we struggled. We struggled. I mean, we were there for 45 minutes for like
it was bad.
2 minutes of content. It was incredible.
And then we couldn't use it.
Yeah, we couldn't use it.
Elijah was editing it, and he's like, Nelson, I'm gonna edit it, but we can't use it.
It's like I was talking to like a wall.
Bro, that was bad.
But you know,
I don't get it. People always, oh, you're such a natural in front of the camera. I just talk. I'm just myself. I don't think the camera should change who you are. There's no negative consequences to being in front of a camera. I am who I am, and I say what I say, no matter who's watching, no matter what I'm doing. Bro, that's such a good segue. The reason content creation is such a boom right now is because of authenticity, bro. You get to connect with people when they're living there. You see them for real. It's not this exaggerated thing. Well, some people create content like that, right? Like, super successful people that have the budget for it. But every day, how many content creators are just everyday people that are married and have kids and have a regular job? Or even if they're full-time content creators, they're not balling. So they just go about their day and they do things and they record themselves at the gym. If they, some of them like MMA, they'll record themselves, boxing or something. Some of them are into fitness, whatever they're into. And you get to interact with normal people who are having some sort of success. And that's why they're doing so well, because you get to see people on a daily basis just on their phone. Those are the content creators that are killing it. And especially with UGC, with user-generated content, it's a big thing. You know what I mean? So.
And now, like, the internet has grown into a space where people aren't as stupid as they was before.
100%.
And they can tell when you're not being
authentic. Yeah.
Like, people know. Like, people call out these big streamers. Like, we know that's not how you act, like,
right.
Normally. The camera, And it's like, and granted, nobody does.
Right.
But it's not acting different. You're just amplifying yourself.
Yes.
So when you do an intro, you're not screaming it all the time. You're just like being allowed to have a good intro because that's how the game works. But people can tell when you're not being authentic.
Would you say? I mean, I'm gonna give you my perspective, but that brings a good question. And you're a perfect demographic because you're younger. How old are you turning this month? 20?
19, turning 20 this month.
Turning 20. So you're actually the perfect demographic to ask, because I feel like the majority of people online are from Gen Z, right? Mm-hmm. Is it a turnoff to see unauthentic content?
For sure. Like I said, it depends on content.
The content, okay.
Because you see people like Speed or Jinxie, and for some people it's not a turnoff because they act stupid and crazy, and some people just want to laugh.
Right.
But it is a turnoff when you say you're doing a day in the life, and no one does the stuff you're doing. Like no one does.
I feel you.
So it is a turnoff because now people don't trust you.
Yeah. 100%.
And now when you do want to be authentic, you kind of ruined it for yourself.
Yeah.
Because people don't forget stuff. So it is definitely a turnoff, but it's definitely dependent on what the type of content you do.
100%. I couldn't agree more. Me personally, the people I follow and the people that I like to, for instance, I've said this before on the podcast, and this is 100% true. I don't spend more than 30 minutes a day on social media, if that. Not even. Sometimes I won't go on. There's days where I don't even touch social media. I have to touch it at some point to work, to post. But what I'm saying is different. From a consumer standpoint to consume content, I don't go on too much. And even when I do, it's people that, like, I'm not watching who's somebody big that I follow that does. I can't even name somebody because I don't like stories. The stories I watch are people that are more or less doing what I'm doing. Other podcasters maybe that are friends of mine, like Josue. You might not know who Josue is, but Josue, my boy, shout out to what Josue has to say. I'll watch his stories. I'll watch Linda's. You know Linda, obviously. I'll watch Linda's stories. I'll watch people within my niche, I guess, and then people that I know personally, like, you know, your brother or my mom or something, you know. So based on my consumption of content, I can kind of tell that, and the people that interact with me mostly are people that know me. Mm-hmm. I mean, now the channel's growing. Obviously, we just hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys again so much. It's surreal. And then we're gaining, at this rate, we'll be at 1,500 soon, and then 2,000, and then 10,000. Like, we're gaining momentum. So thank you guys. This wouldn't be possible at all if it wasn't for you guys. And I'm nothing more than a testimonial of what I'm talking about. I'm just a normal guy who wanted to start a podcast, and I'm just living my life, being a normal guy, and this is what I show on camera. I'm not any different on camera than I am off camera. And me hitting 1,000 subscribers just speaks volumes of what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. People are starving for authenticity, and I think that's just what works, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and you're kind of like the perfect example of that
100%.
Because it is true. The way you act off camera is the way you act on camera.
You're right. You're a witness because you know me personally, right? So
and people could tell the difference. And it's not like any of like the guests you had before go online and be like, "Oh, this Nelson guy's not who he
exactly."
Is, not who he is. And you said like a few months ago, because my brother asked you, "Have you ever had fake people on your podcast?" And you go, "Look, 100% I have."
Yeah.
And like just people out there like that, but you specifically, you definitely are. What you say, what you do is definitely on camera and off camera, and people starve for that.
Right. 100%.
And with that, you'll just only grow and grow and grow.
I think so, man. I'm onto something.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the evidence is there. You just hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Guys, we gotta pay bills here, so we're gonna hear a quick word from our sponsor, and we'll be back in just a minute. Don't you dare go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, the familiar voice of your host, Nelson Rodriguez Jr., taking a quick detour to talk to you about the best jewelry shop on the internet, Gus Villa Jewelry. Let's be honest here, guys. Jewelers in Miami are super shady sometimes. I've even been ripped off once or twice by one of these self-proclaimed alchemists that ended up being these weirdos who sell you a bunch of stuff that make your neck and your fingers turn black. Let me tell you, after I met my boy, Gus Villa, he elevated my bling game. The Gus Villa team, these guys are more than just jewelers. These guys are magicians turning metal and stone into your next head turner. Trust me, these pieces shine so much you can see them from outer space. Head over to GusVillaJewelry.com, and because you're a Monty, that's right, part of the Montana Method crew, you can use the promo code Montana to snatch 5% off your order. You don't just get hooked up with some shine, you get to have some dough in your pocket. Double whammy. So guys, what are you waiting for? Elevate your jewelry game. Show the world what you got. You got some style, you got some bling, you're all blinged up. Come on back after you do that. We've got more Montana Method Madness waiting for you. Now back to the podcast. Alrighty, guys. So, as promised, we're going to talk about some current events. Most recent being O.J. Simpson. He died yesterday.
Yep.
Even though most people would have a skewed perspective, or some people would have a skewed perspective about him.
Just don't care.
Yeah. Rest in peace. He's a human at the end of the day. So here's my perspective on O.J. OJ, I think he killed his wife. So that's just my opinion. Some people swear that he didn't. It is what it is. He was proved not guilty in a court of law. Later in his life, he was arrested and convicted for stealing his own memorabilia, which is crazy. Like, it was his stuff that was valuable because he made it valuable from his football career, and then he was convicted and put in prison for stealing his own stuff. It's pretty wild. Life is strange, and it can be pretty ironic at times. Anyway, so OJ was actually the O.J. Simpson trial, if I'm not mistaken, happened in 1994? 94? Was it 94 or 92? It was either 1992, 94. Either way, I was too young to remember. OJ, but it's crazy how he was still a topic of conversation so many years later. Think about it. If it happened in 92 or 94, that was 32 years ago. Yeah. And people were OJ still stayed relevant. He wasn't even doing anything, like he wasn't, he didn't have a TV show. He didn't really, he never started podcasting. It's not like he was doing something to stay relevant. And yet he stayed relevant. It's crazy. He's one of those names.
If you think about it, like OJ is like a celebrity, and like,
of course,
at that time, celebrities didn't have a court case like that.
Yes,
maybe nowadays because the internet and exposed, but like back there was no internet,
no camera phones to
just your TV, and I mean everybody seen the viral clip of him putting on that glove, and it not fitting, and everyone was like, "Whoa, he didn't kill his wife," and it was crazy. I saw a video actually of people's reactions at the time.
When they said not guilty or whatever.
Yeah, and this is like obviously the video was towards black people, so like there was like 10 like videos of black people going like, "Oh, he didn't kill him, he didn't kill him,"
right?
Obviously, and so it's like wow, like nothing like that happened at the time.
So something interesting that I watched, and I forgot the name of the actual. What's the name of that show that was on FX? They had it on Netflix for a while. They did a mini series on OJ, then they did a mini series on Versace. Is it American? It's like American Story or American something.
I have no idea.
Man. Anyway, the channel that made the series, I'm pretty sure, is FX, and it was on Netflix for a while. It was called the Case of OJ Simpson. I'm pretty sure it was called. Cuba Gooding Jr. played OJ. John Travolta played Shapiro, which was one of his lawyers. David Schwimmer from Friends. I forgot the name of his character in Friends. He played Robert Kardashian, Kim Kardashian's dad.
Okay.
Who was also a lawyer and OJ's lawyer.
Okay.
Very famous people were in this miniseries. You should watch it. You would like it. Dude, it gave you an interesting perspective on the whole thing. You saw both sides, right? You saw OJ's perspective, then you saw the lawyer's perspective, then you saw the perspective of people who thought he was guilty. You saw the perspective of people who thought he wasn't guilty. You saw things that were going on in Los Angeles, like the riots and all that crazy stuff that happened. I don't know if you also know, Rodney King was like a big deal. Rodney King was a black person that lived in L.A., and he was brutally beaten by cops.
Oh, wow.
Brutally. Like, it was uncalled for. And it was this big case, and then they found the cops not guilty, and there was riots in the city. It was crazy. It was an interesting time in American history, to say the least. If anyone hasn't seen that show, and I'm sorry that I don't have the title of it, can you look it up on your phone?
I got you.
Yeah, look up like FX, the Case of OJ. Let's see if we can get the actual name so people can watch it. It was a really good show. Funny enough, my uncle was at my house when I was watching that show. I'm never with my uncle. We see each other once a year. And me and my dad chilled out in my house, and we watched the whole series that day. It was really good. You found it?
Yeah. So it's called The People versus O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story.
American Crime Story. I was close. Okay. So, yeah, American Crime Story. They also did a series on Versace, which I haven't seen. I've been told is very good. But anyway, that series gave me a really good perspective on the whole thing. And you saw the story from so many different perspectives and different... I didn't know Robert Kardashian was really good friends with OJ. They were best friends. They were really good friends.
I know the Kardashians has something connected with OJ, but I didn't know he was his lawyer.
Right. And then it's crazy to think about... And then you see, like, wow, so the Kardashians have been heavily tied to pop culture for a while now. Yeah. It's not that Kim Kardashian, she had this sex tape and then Ray J and all that shit, and then she became... No. Like, her mom and dad were already embedded in American culture. Mm-hmm. Because to be that close... let's start with this. Before O.J. Simpson ever had that whole thing, they were already friends. Like, they were best friends with one of the top athletes in the world, most famous athletes, whatever. So... it goes to show you, it's crazy how one thing that you think has nothing to do with anything, how you see like how it's all connected. Watch the series, man. Watch it. You'll like it. I'm telling you. It's gonna give you a great perspective on OJ. And then something else that I realized about OJ dying yesterday. Bro, at the end of the day, no matter what happens in your life and what decisions you make, the ultimate price to pay is your death. Like, you're gonna die. You know what I mean? And what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? You know what I mean? Like, OJ's always gonna be remembered as the guy, court case.
Yeah,
Guy,
that sucks.
It sucks.
He would never like. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know OJ was a football player until he died yesterday. I'll be 100%.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
And he's famous, but that proves my point. He's known for being the guy who got tried for killing his wife.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ultimately, okay, he didn't get convicted. I get it. But that's what he's known for. So OJ's death, to me, the first thing I thought of when I saw that on Instagram, I forgot. I think it was Valuetainment posted it, you know, Patrick Bet David and all those guys. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? What are the decisions? You need to be conscious, very conscious of the decisions you make in your life. What kind of message do you want to leave the world when you're gone? What do you want to be remembered for? Because, believe it or not, even though we're not able to be immortal, like as humans, we can't live forever, obviously. What's immortal is your name and your memory. What kind of immortal name or immortal story do you want to leave behind? A really bad one? Because do something pretty bad and they'll remember you forever. Because, trust me, no one in the world is going to forget El Chapo or Fidel Castro or anyone who's done something bad. But ultimately, is that what you want to be remembered for?
And
I don't.
You have to tread water because you could do 100 good things. You do 100 good things. You do one bad thing, and people remember that. Like, imagine if Mr. Beast killed his girlfriend.
No, no, he's done.
Yeah,
he's done.
But no one will ever remember Mr. Beast for all the good he did.
For all the good he did, 100%.
Just get remembered for that one thing, you know.
You're 100% right.
So it's a very dangerous world out here.
I'll put it in a micro perspective. If you go to a restaurant and you have an amazing experience, amazing. I'm talking about the best restaurant you've ever been to. You might tell one person. You might tell two people.
Yeah.
But if you have a horrible experience, you're telling everybody. You're plastering it all over social media.
Yeah.
You're going to complain, Yelp, Instagram, all that stuff. You're going to tell everybody, don't go to this place. Don't spend your money here. This place sucks. Mm-hmm. That is what I'm talking about. The effects of doing something negative, you're 100% right. Wipe out anything positive you're trying to do to build up some sort of good. So, yeah, you do that one thing that he did. No one remembers about all the football records he set and all that stuff. Nobody cares. Everybody just remembers him for that. You know what I mean? It's a thing. I mean, another example, and it kind of goes into it, P. Diddy. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't gotten convicted of anything yet. I get it. But, bro, I don't know. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, people don't raid your house for no reason.
That too, bro. And let me tell you, the feds, they don't draw that card unless they're pretty certain. And take it from me. Anyway, yeah, man, Diddy's another one where it's weird, but I don't know. What do you think?
It's a very hot topic for sure.
Definitely.
I don't want to say he did anything because
there's no proof yet.
Guilty.
Right.
So it's a very just strange situation. It's like we're in the part of like P. Diddy where like it's just a whole big bowl of confusion because they raided his house, but we don't know why.
And then he's like partying in Miami.
Yeah, and he's partying in other part of the world, and it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
because we're getting everything from the media.
Yes.
And the media can lie.
Yeah.
So we just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and we already know how the media rolls.
Yeah.
Diddy's a strange one, and I'll tell you why. As a kid, I never believed the rumor that he was behind Biggie and Tupac's murder. I never believed that. I thought it was a bunch of bullshit. But then years pass by, and you hear here in Miami, right? I don't know if this has happened to you, but this has happened to me more than once. Multiple friends. Oh yeah, I've been to one of his parties. They're crazy, bro. They let you take your cell phone in there and this and that, and they do some weird shit in there. I've had multiple people tell me that. I know multiple people that have been to Diddy parties in Miami. Multiple people have said the same thing. Okay, maybe the guy's just a weirdo. Maybe the guy's just into weird shit. Okay, cool. But then Cassie comes out with this lawsuit. And immediately, he pays her money. He's like, yo, don't say anything. And then the lawsuit falls apart. Think about Big Pharma and those kinds of companies. Like, they pay people. You know why they never get sued? Because they pay people so much money that no one sues. They just they settle out of court. They're like, listen here, and we'll sell it. So typically that means you don't want to go to court, right? So if you don't want to go to court, because I mean, think about it. If you were innocent, you'd be like, take it to court, prove it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then now you're seeing all those weird videos. Again, this isn't tied to him being a criminal, but it is tied to being a weirdo. Now you're seeing him there's this video circulating of him sitting next to Mike Tyson, I think on Arsenio's show. And you see Diddy just sitting normal. Next to him, you don't really see anything. And then Mike Tyson, they start laughing about a joke, and Mike Tyson grabs his hand and puts it on his hand, like,
oh yeah,
because Diddy was trying to touch him, I guess.
Yeah.
And he grabs his hand and he goes, "Yo," he doesn't say anything out loud, but he's like moves his hand. Yeah. And now you're seeing all these little videos everywhere about it too.
And I saw a viral video the other day of it was something with Justin Bieber. And it was something happened with P. Diddy, Justin Bieber, where Justin Bieber was like in the video, you can see he was like super weirded out. Didn't say anything, obviously, but because he was like, this was Justin Bieber when he was young.
When he first got famous?
No, I don't think they would have a 14-year-old in a P. Diddy party. Probably when he just turned 18 or something.
Oh, so he had been singing for a while.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And it was a very just strange interaction. Definitely weird. But I don't want to say because maybe he is just weird.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he's just a weirdo and shit happened. It looked bad and the feds just want to be like,
yeah. Or maybe, something like to what Tony said last week, bro. You make enemies when you become successful.
Exactly, yeah.
So maybe he's just someone's trying to tear him down. That's totally possible too. You know what I mean? I've seen so much in my short 31 years of life that nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And let's get this straight. Everyone knows the music industry, Hollywood, the entertainment elites, that whole world is strange. You see strange stuff. Now, obviously, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, you're finding out that the elites are up to some weird stuff. Is that all of them? No, maybe not. Who knows? But it's not a secret that they're up to some weird shit, that there's a lot of like quid pro quo and a lot of favors for favors, and God knows how many actresses and actors have had to do sexual favors for people to get on movies and that kind of stuff. The music industry is no different. The gatekeeping is a very well-known thing. Jessie Reyes has a really good song called Gatekeeper where she talks about that. If you don't know who Jessie Reyes is, look up her music. She's great. So it's no secret. And you know what? It's interesting that it's happening, it's unfolding, and people are starting to see this, and there's proof coming out about this guy and that guy, and I don't know.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning, because like they raided P. Diddy's house, but we don't know how long they had a thing on P. Diddy for.
Yeah.
Because the thing about the police and the feds, they love waiting, they love gathering evidence, and P. Diddy's been doing this since forever.
Yeah.
Because it could even be that P. Diddy didn't even do anything. Maybe he helped someone else
do
at a party,
did
something heinous that we shouldn't see on camera. But they're gathering evidence, and maybe P. Diddy's a part of it.
Yeah.
P. Diddy can't control everything at his party. They're giant parties. We never know what could happen.
Bro, that brings up a great question. You know what? Like, there's no amount of money that would make me do some really weird shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no amount of money on this planet that'll make me, like if P. Diddy would have approached me, let's say I'm an artist, and he was like, yo, all you got to do is give me a blowjob. Yeah, and I would have been like, dog, I'm straight.
Yeah.
No, not happening. I'll give you $10 million. No. No, I'm good. Why is it that there are people that exist that, man, I'm trying to put the question. Like, the normal has become for people to sell out and sell their soul, basically.
Yeah. Like,
selling your soul for fame and money and all this shit that doesn't even matter, bro. It doesn't matter. People think Rolexes and money and all that shit. That shit is so irrelevant, bro. I can tell you because I wasn't thinking about how much money I lost. I wasn't thinking about all the material things that I lost when I was sitting in front of a judge and getting sentenced to go to prison, bro. I was thinking about my family. I was thinking about my friends. I was thinking about the people I care about. Man, I let them down. I'm such a disappointment. I failed them. I wasn't thinking about all the material possessions I lost, because guess what? If it's replaceable, it's not valuable, bro. It's not at all. You can replace a watch. You can replace a car. I can't replace my mother, bro. I can't replace my sister. I can't replace my niece and nephew. I can't replace my friends. If it's replaceable, it's worthless. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happens in society nowadays, bro. Like, people are tricked into thinking, oh, you know, we have something you don't. Like, this kind of life is what you're missing out on.
Yeah.
And it's all bullshit. You know what I mean?
Because you see all these big houses and watches and cars, but you don't know how those people got those things. They could have done it with hard work. They could have done it other ways.
Yes.
You know, the industry is a very, like, it's like a chess game. You know? Everything they do is strategic for a reason, to catch your eye, your attention, make you believe certain things. And at the end of the day, it could just hurt you because you're not ready for that.
100%, bro. My soul is not for sale. It never will be. It never has been. And I had to go to pretty dark places to understand that, you know. I can tell you guys, when I sat in prison, I had a lot of time for myself. I was very quiet. I had like 2 hours a day where it was just me and my thoughts, and I would go. We had this big field where we played sports, and in the morning, nobody was typically there. We had some tables that were by a big tree, and there was this religious area. It was really nice, in a stream, and you heard water. It was one of the most peaceful places I've ever been to in my life. And I realized that I ended up there because I sold my soul, like, for chump change. For a couple dollars, I did some shit I shouldn't have. And it was like, man, that's how much your soul is worth? A few dollars? Nah, man. My soul is priceless. It's never for sale. It never will be. And but I'm glad that it happened to me, because I'll never end up like those people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, alrighty, guys. We got to pay bills. You know what it is. Time to hear another word from another one of our sponsors. Alrighty, guys, taking a quick break from the podcast to bring you a word from our sponsor, Christian J. DePaz. Appreciate him for coming through. He offers a phenomenal service. Guys, you know I'm a big promoter of entrepreneurship, owning a company, starting a business, doing your own thing, and chasing your own dreams. But as the old saying goes, it takes money to make money. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Christian J. DePaz and what he does. He gets funding for new and startup businesses. Christian, tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you so much, bro, for the opportunity to come inside your podcast and help more entrepreneurs start their own business or scale their current businesses. So what we do here at Secure Funding is that we'll help you acquire anywhere between $50,000 to $150,000 at 0% interest rate business credit, so that you can, once again, start or scale your current business. So if you come here from our good friend Nelson, there's no other you're coming from, then we'll have him at the podcast and we'll take extra good care of you. With that being said, brother, thank you so much for bringing us on.
Of course. What are you waiting for, guys? Click the link in the bio. Another current event that I think is that honestly I'm kind of lost on because I'm not following it. I used to be a huge hip hop. I still am a hip hop fan, but I don't follow it as closely as I used to. I almost don't follow it at all. Besides my favorite rappers, which are from an earlier generation than what's going on. This whole J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake thing, I don't really know. Do you know what's going on with that?
I know a little bit about it.
Okay.
I don't know how it started, though.
Okay.
I know, like, in the first diss track with Kendrick, because it's not even a Kendrick song, it's a feature song that has Kendrick featured on it.
And he dissed who?
J. Cole and Drake.
Okay.
And one of the things that people remembered is the most famous line is, "It's not Big Three, it's Big Me." Because on J. Cole's album, he made a song with Drake saying that J. Cole said the big three is me, Kendrick, and Drake.
Right.
And I guess something happened between that and now where Kendrick is like, it's not Big Three.
It's just me.
It's Big Me.
Yeah.
And so it's very interesting. And then J. Cole responds with his diss track.
And then he apologized.
Which
is why everybody's shitting on him right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, Yeah. So just like two different perspectives. Some people are like they're shitting on him because
He apologized.
he apologized. Some people are like he's just being the bigger man because he to the way he apologized too.
Right.
And this is one big because I don't think anybody knows how it started.
Mm.
Because everybody in it is like, yo, Kendrick, this Drake, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, it's just very like.
And you know what I think is really crazy? You know what's really crazy? Most people don't even understand why everybody's turning on Drake now. Because it's multiple rappers. Rick Ross unfollowed him on Instagram a while back. J. Cole, it made a song with Future. Like, this is strange. And how much you want to bet, bro, full circle, how much you want to bet this has to do with what we just talked about? That he did they found out some wild stuff, like some really wild stuff about him. And they were like, oh, bro, we can't, you know.
I mean, we don't have any evidence.
We don't, but I bet.
Yeah, because is there because you could also say that they're in the wrong, but it's not like there's people on Drake's side. It's like everybody. On Drake. So it's like, what did they find out? Where it's like,
typically, bro. I'm not saying this is the case, but you know what I've noticed when everyone has a problem with you. They're not a bunch of assholes. The asshole is you in this situation, typically. So, and I think it's strange how it still hasn't came out as to this is why you did this and this is why I don't like you anymore. No one has said that amongst the plethora of people that have a problem with him. By the way, I'm not a Drake fan anymore. It has nothing to do with this. It has everything to do with his music. His music has sucked for a while now. I haven't liked his last few albums, like back there. It's been a while since I listened to a Drake song and I was like, man, that's pretty fire. So he has his place in hip hop, no disrespect. He's definitely a GOAT. But yeah, his last, you know what it is? Drake is a trend. He's not really a trend setter.
He's a trend writer.
He's a trend writer, yes. So his music follows the trend of the time. Mm-hmm. He has his own sound, obviously. So, you know, like Drake, that 40 kind of production. But he follows the trend. He's a trend writer. So if you go back and listen to we actually talked about this once. Yeah. You go back and listen to each one of his albums, they match the tone of the time. So since the tone of the time now is the mumble rapping and the 21 Savages of the world, which I don't really enjoy, if that's what you enjoy, you have the right to listen to whatever music you want. That's probably why I don't like any of his latter music.
Yeah, and especially his like older music.
No,
like Marvin's Room. That will forever be an amazing song. That wasn't just a trend song.
Yes.
It was a forever GOAT song.
Bro.
And the thing about Drake's situation, I don't think he did anything illegal. I think it's more of a...
Like personal?
Like a P. Diddy, he's just did something weird. Because a few months before... Another thing that blew up about Drake was his leak. So maybe something connected to that because it's not like Drake was mad about it. You know?
Drake didn't care.
And so I think it's just people are like seeing things like the block building up into something. They're like, okay, maybe I should just step back.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't associate with this guy because that could be it too. And then again, when you're on top, dog, like you make enemies.
Yeah.
And who's more on top than Drake?
No one. Maybe like Taylor Swift.
On the hip hop side, he's the Taylor Swift of hip hop, you know. And let me tell you, Nicki Minaj said this a while back. He's the only billionaire alive that doesn't say that he's a billionaire. I believe it. I think it's possible he's a billionaire because think about it. Outside of the plethora of albums he's had and the amount of music he's made that's been successful, he was on Degrassi right before any of this happened. Yeah. And then take that out, he's a minority owner of the Toronto Raptors, bro. Like, you have to have money to invest in a basketball team. That doesn't take 2 cents.
And the thing about Drake, he knows how to be in front of a camera. 100%. Every month or so, you always see Drake doing something.
Right. Definitely.
And like you said, no one's more on top than Drake. Like, Drake ran music the 2010s. Like, hip-hop wise, especially early 2010s, he ran music. Like, whenever a big artist dropped an album, you always had Drake on it. Yeah, you always had Drake on it. So he's definitely a top guy, and maybe when you're the top guy, people just
come after you. It is what it is. Yeah, that's true.
So that's why it could be like there's two sides to a coin, because when everybody unfollows you, then maybe you're the problem.
Yeah.
But maybe everybody else is the problem because you're the top guy.
And they're conspiring against you. Yeah.
So if it was like someone in between, like if everybody unfollowed Rick Ross isn't the top guy, so maybe you're the asshole.
Yeah, yeah.
But everybody's unfollowing Drake, and Drake's the top guy. So it's that's why I'm not like fully like maybe Drake's the problem, maybe they're the problem. So
that's such an interesting thing, and it's a totally different conversation from Diddy, right? Because Diddy, the feds are raiding his house, so you're like, whoa. With Drake, it's like, no, wait a second. Yeah, all these guys are unfollowing him, and they're all turning against him. But is it really that he did something unforgivable, or is it that they're just hating on the top guy because he's been on top for years?
Yeah.
So is it, oh yeah, you're the problem, or nah, y'all are just a bunch of haters? Oof, that's a good one.
Yeah. And this is like a book where you just got to keep on turning the page, because Drake's been on top for all these years. But how did Drake stay on top of all these years? Like there's just stuff that we don't know.
Yeah.
Like you could also say it's his team, like always putting himself in front of a camera.
Right.
He's doing live streams now on Kick. The funny moment when Toronto Raptors were in the finals and he was like shrugging the guy's shoulders, like. He knows how to stay in front of a camera, and that's why he's always on top.
He stays relevant, yeah.
So, like I said, this is definitely anybody could be wrong here. They could both be wrong.
Yeah.
So that's just the hip hop game.
Such an interesting and so influential. You know what I mean? Hip hop is, and music in general is just such an influential thing. And then of course, it could also be. This is what I always say. Both of those are just a bunch of bullshit to keep us distracted.
Yeah.
Which that I firmly believe, because at the end of the day, whatever happens to Diddy is not going to affect you or me.
Facts.
Whatever happens to Drake, whatever happens to any of these people is not going to affect you or me at all. You know what does affect you or me? When we pay attention to them and we abandon our own lives. That affects you deeply. Which brings me to my final point of conversation. You know what these social media companies figured out?
What?
Not everybody has money, obviously.
Of course.
Because the majority of people are broke. You know what everybody has? Time. That's why social media companies are $1 trillion companies, and then they're making all this money, because you have something everybody on the planet has: time. And they learned that you can't give them money, but you can give them your time. Everybody has time to spare. And they made you think that you weren't giving them anything. A little 30 seconds to watch this video, a little 15 seconds to watch that video, a little 45 seconds to watch that video. Oh, it's 15 seconds, whatever. Oh, it's 30 seconds, whatever. And before you know it, you've been scrolling for 2 hours.
And that's the thing with like TikTok. That's why TikTok is, I think it still is the most downloaded app in the world.
That's crazy.
Short form. People don't have long attention spans.
Yep.
And it's just easier to watch a short video, So I feel like these like companies have seen that, and they just want to take advantage, and rightly
100%.
so. If there's a trend, you should follow it, but it can be detrimental to a lot of people.
Time, man, and that's why I think society as a whole doesn't improve in a certain facet, because they fail to realize the time that they're wasting. Your time is your most valuable resource. If these mega conglomerate companies are after your time, think about how valuable your time is. Companies like Facebook, companies like TikTok, companies like Twitter, these companies are after your time. They're not even asking you for money because it's free to be on these platforms. How valuable is your time? How valuable is your attention if that's what these companies are after? Ask yourself that question. Now imagine my time and attention is feeding these companies, is feeding Facebook, is feeding Twitter, is feeding TikTok. What would happen if I directed my time and attention at something I wanted to create? Think about that for a second. If you diverted that time and attention you gave to Netflix, oh my God.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's a big one.
It's only $15 a month. Only 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day. You start watching one of those shows, you stay up all night. You binge it, bro. I think I've told you recently. So I believe in omens, right? More than one person has told me to watch Yellowstone, and then I watched this episode of Joe Rogan that had the Taylor Sheridan, the writer of Yellowstone, on there. He's also made Sicario. He's made Tulsa King. He's really he's a phenomenal producer, writer, director. Bro, Yellowstone is amazing. It's a really good TV show. Yeah, but what happened? I started watching it on a Sunday, and I just the whole week. I would get home, I'd edit my couple videos, and I'd fucking flop on my bed, and I'd start watching. Bro, last Sunday, I spent the whole Sunday watching 1883, which is a prequel of Yellowstone. Dude, phenomenal show. Amazing. Very good. And then as a writer, you know, I've told you I'm writing a comic book. I watch these things to get inspiration, but it's such a double-edged sword, bro, because too much of it is not good, you know?
Facts.
These companies are after your time and attention. Ask yourself. And then let's take it a step further. We were just talking about social media, but now we have streaming services. We have Netflix, we have Peacock, you have Paramount Plus, you have Hulu. All these billion-dollar corporations are after your time and attention. How valuable is your time and attention?
And they do it very strategically too, because places like Peacock and Hulu and HBO Max, they do this thing where they have different plans. They have a $5 plan with ads, or a $15 with no ads. And Hulu has this like super expensive Hulu with live sports, but they get you with those $5 to $10 ones because you just want to watch it. You don't really care about the ads. So that's why they have to bring packages, because they know the cheaper the price, they got you.
Yep. And then they're like, oh, $5 more, no ads. And then most people, I hate ads. So I'm the guy that's like, oh, $5 more, no ads. That's great. I get to binge it nonstop. Bro, these companies are very smart, and they figured it out. A few dollars of your money, your time and attention. With that, they've conquered the world. You got to start asking yourself, what am I diverting my time and attention to, bro? And what's a few of my dollars and time and attention? If I invert that, take it away from here and invest it somewhere else, what am I capable of building? You do not understand what you are capable of. Steve Jobs was a regular human being just like us. He built Apple, bro. Apple's a $2 trillion company. It might be more.
Yeah.
When Elijah and I went on a trip up north. I got invited to, shout out to Ian Bick, the Locked In podcast. Check it out on April 23rd. It's going to drop on Elijah's birthday, no less. So we went up north, and we went to New York, and we saw this Apple store that was right next to Central Park. Bro, that was pretty impressive. Like,
yeah. It was a good look Apple store too.
Yeah. It's pretty dope. Time and attention, guys. Your time and attention. Steve Jobs is a normal person just like you and me. He built Apple. Jeff Bezos is a normal guy just like you and me. He built Amazon. Elon Musk is a genius. He's not a normal guy. Regardless, he's a human being, though. And look at what he's been able to do, because he diverts his time and attention intentionally into what he wants to create, not what other people want to take from him. He doesn't give his time and attention to other people that just want his time and attention to consume their product. No. He's busy. He's so busy building his own products, he doesn't have time and attention to spare. Think about that, guys.
And the thing about all these people is, maybe not Elon Musk because he's an exception, but all these big billionaires who created these big things, none of them are smarter than us.
None of them.
But all of them are more dedicated to what they're doing
100%
than 99.99% of people.
Yep.
Because they can see the vision.
100%.
Like when Jeff Bezos did his thing, he saw how big this could probably be.
Right.
Or maybe he didn't. Maybe he saw like step by step. But no matter what, he didn't give up. And look at what he did now.
100%. And that's the difference. Like they intentionally dedicate their time and attention. Instead of spending 2 hours a day on Netflix or 2 hours a day on TikTok, they spend 2 hours or more, or how many hours a day, building something. Imagine that's what you did. Instead of spending those 2 or 3 hours on Netflix or those 2 or 3 hours on TikTok, imagine if you intentionally diverted it into something you wanted to create. Where would you be in 10 years? The sky's the limit. It really is. So, guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We did a little different today. We'll start doing this more often. It's a good format. Talk about, current events and perspective and that kind of stuff. Have Elijah come on. So, appreciate you, man. That was good content. That was good stuff.
For sure.
Alrighty, guys. Another episode of Montana Method Podcast. As always, your host, Nelson Rodriguez Jr., signing out. Push it to the limit. The world is yours. And if you are not chasing a dream, life is meaningless, guys. To the next one.
I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really out here in these streets. That's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no. But now I want it all. I promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags.